Hello all you retro poppers out there, welcome to another exciting episode. Today got another fantastic episode for you. Yesterday we filmed a video talking about the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, our first thoughts, and that was me and Gray and the West Coast gamers out there. We did talk about the differences and things we liked, and between that and Breath of the Wild, how good the game is, and so on. Unfortunately, that footage got erased, so I'm going to be talking about it, what we discussed yesterday, and talk about kind of things that we talked about and what was brought up in the video. But before that, I want to show off my cases that I got. I got the Breath of the Wild case here, and this is a pretty interesting little case. I like it. Classic. I don't like the little insert on the inside, but pretty good case, still like it. And I imagine it's the same company, but here is the Tears of the Kingdom. We've seen this cover quite a bit on the metal plate and so on. They've been using this quite a bit. So this is the non-Zorai or Zonai, or what they call those symbols version. So I like this version better.
Retro.
So anyways, my first thoughts of the game. Let's start off with one of the first questions we talked about is, do you have to have played Breath of the Wild before playing this game? Not have to play Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild is a fantastic game, and it is a 10 out of 10 game also. There are some aspects in Breath of the Wild that are really great. In the beginning you're isolated for quite a bit, so it's kind of like trying to figure out how to get up certain heights of cliffs and things, whereas Tears of the Kingdom is breaks the rules, because now you have certain powers where you can teleport through walls, you can build all kinds of equipment, kind of like Minecraft style things, such as jets, cars, robots, you name it, you can probably build it in Breath of the Wild or in Tears of the Kingdom. So definitely changes the rules, whereas Breath of the Wild you really had to figure this world out and figure out how you're going to survive and get up there. So definitely changes the rules. And secondary, do I like this game? And I definitely love this game. It's a fantastic game. It is a 10 out of 10 game for me, and Gray said the same thing, 10 out of 10 game for him. And I do like that some of the aspects of the game, such as the first Breath of the Wild, your save carries over. So far the only thing I've seen is the horses from the horse stable. So if you collected horses from the first game, they will be in the game, including Epona. Now, some people didn't even know, or Gray didn't even know, that Epona was in the first game, but there was a special way of getting it, and I forgot how to do it now, but I sent him a link to somebody's video that describes how to do it. I think it was from IGN, how to get Epona. But I do have Epona, and definitely in this secondary game, there so far, is from what I've read, there is no way to get Epona full time unless you have the save file from Breath of the Wild. You can do it, scan an amiibo in, and Epona will show up. I don't know which amiibo it is. I haven't scanned any amiibo yet. I gotta do that today. So as you can see from my character, I don't really have any fancy clothing. I basically got whatever scraps I could find here and there. So everybody's been playing this game differently. Gray's totally playing differently than I am. He went out and got the green tunic and got the full-on Link set, so he looks like Link. He snuck into the castle and already got the shield and so on. So he's played it a lot different from me, whereas I just kind of set out exploring this world and checking the sky area. So done a bunch of islands, done a bunch of shrines, went to the Upside Down, which is the underground. I don't know what they're calling it officially, but It's basically Stranger Things upside down. It's pretty different down there. Things work differently than they do on the land. Some of the ways things affect you on land definitely affect you differently in the underworld. And it's a pretty scary place. It's almost like the hero mode. Because there's I can't tell you exactly because I don't want to do this a spoiler-free show. But things do definitely work different down there. And it's very dark. There's lots of poison swamps. A lot of stuff going on down there that's bad, and quite a bunch of enemies that can do a lot of damage. So definitely I've explored that quite a bit, and it's very rewarding when you unlock stuff down there, open up the map and so on. So that is pretty cool. Like I said, the land is really cool. Searching Hyrule, searching around the whole area of the world. It's pretty awesome. Really find the world immersive. You could just go 10 feet and get sidetracked constantly, because if you're going out on one mission, you could easily get sidetracked by seeing a cave, seeing a well that may have a cave inside the well, or so on. Maybe seeing an NPC, that thing to be done for them, a Korok that needs to get to his friend, or so on. There's a lot of different sidetracking missions here and there, and it's just full of adventure no matter where you go into this game. So it's pretty awesome. And some of the Breath of the Wild mechanics, of course, the basics like burning grass, those things still affect the world the same way here. It's just now you have a new hand that gives you powers, and it can do different things, such as teleporting, constructing things together, making like anything from vehicles to robots with some supplies laying around. I like to think of them as like the Home Depots. There's a bunch of Home Depot supply wood yards laying around, and it gives you the tools, kind of like a toolbox, to build vehicles and different things. There's also gachapon machines, like the gumball machines kind of things, where they give you also tools to help you build stuff. So there's quite a bit to do in this game, and it's pretty awesome. So definitely very cool, very awesome game. Now, is this game the best game of this franchise? I like to break these up between 2D and 3D. I don't like to compare them. I don't think it's fair to compare 2D and 3D. So the best 2D game of the Legend of Zelda series, I still think, is Link to the Past. Very fantastic game. And its sequel, which is Link Between Worlds, is another fantastic game, which is on the 3DS. And I think a lot of people didn't play it, or not enough people played it, because I mentioned a few times to other people, and they said, "Oh, I didn't play that one." And it's basically the sequel to Link to the Past, so it's a very great game. So if you liked Link Between the Past, you're going to love Link Between Worlds also. So just like if you love Breath of the Wild, then you're definitely going to love this game. But it's a different game. There's some of the familiar things of the world where the layout is. Things have changed though. But the mechanics in the game have changed quite a bit because of the powers that you get. So it really mixes things up, makes you take a puzzle on totally different ways. Some people like climbing the mountains, for instance. I was going to the Zora Kingdom, and when I was going up there, the mountains, climbing the mountains, I just decided to strap a rocket to my shield and fly up like Iron Man, and just do that the whole way, because it was a lot faster, and I didn't have the Zora suit yet to swim up waterfalls. So you can tackle different challenges of trying to get to different obstacles different ways, and so on. And there was another time where I needed to get past a big giant monster to get across this bridge and get on the other side, but I couldn't kill it. So I built me a big glider, strapped on a bunch of airplane propellers on it, threw some batteries on it, and flew across the whole river above the monster and got to the other side safely without getting killed. So like I said, there's different ways to attack, different puzzles, different obstacles, and it's just really awesome that you can do that. So really great game in that aspect. And like I said, then it changes things up, kind of like a Link to the Past, where there's a dark world underneath the ground and things work differently down there, and it's very menacing. You can easily get killed down there if you're not careful. Then you got the Sky World, which is like a bunch of islands, kind of like Wind Waker, except for this time, instead of a ship sailing to the islands, you have to fly to them, find a way to get to these islands. Sometimes it's through building stuff. Sometimes it's from launching yourself high up in the air above a different island. And there's different obstacles, a way of getting to that island. So pretty awesome. So game is about, I'm guessing, I haven't heard any official word yet, I'm guessing about 2.5 times bigger than Breath of the Wild. But like I said, you don't necessarily have to play Breath of the Wild to play Tears of the Kingdom. Nintendo did put out a video about, on their website, about maybe a month ago, or maybe even 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks to a month ago. And it's just a video kind of giving you the synopsis of the first story to lead you into this game if you didn't want to play it. So pretty awesome game. I'm glad to see people out there enjoying it as much as I am. And the community out there is getting really creative with building all these different things that I see online on YouTube and stuff. They're building like everything from giant Macross robots to tanks, to you name it, ships that are big starships that are got all kinds of missiles and bombs. So a lot of different ways to tackle things in just the building mechanics. And also the fuse, where you can fuse any item to your weapon, is pretty awesome also. That fixes the breakable items in the first one, because there were some people who complained that items broke too easily, and this changes it up where you can just, all weapons are kind of not useful, and then you can just fuse an item to it, like such as a sword, and you can fuse a boulder to it, and then you got a boulder stuck to a sword and whack people with it, and it'll do a lot more damage. So pretty awesome. They've done that mechanic also. The best one that I've found so far had a spear in the deep dark, and I fused a skeleton hand to the spear, so every time that I put out the spear into people's faces, it would pimp slap all the characters. Would go out there and tickle them. So I called it the tickler. So pretty creative way of Nintendo doing those things, and part of you get a good laugh out of some of the things you do between fusing weapons or making items. Pretty cool for a sandbox game. I really like that aspect. And like I said, me and Gray had a great conversation on this yesterday. Unfortunately, we did a long episode, and the audio unfortunately was all scrambled. It was basically beeps and boops and static, so I don't know what happened. Unfortunately, it's just gotta move on, continue the show. Well, anyways, that is it for this episode. I hope you liked it. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and as always, have a good one. Oh, and let me give a big thanks to Gray out there for having our chat yesterday. Unfortunately, like I said, the footage, unless you can read lips, it's unusable because there was no sound. Even though the microphone showed it was working, so it was unfortunately a terrible thing. And we had a great conversation though, and hopefully we can do that again, and we can get to other people together with us. So anyways, that is it. Take care, everybody. Until next time, have a good one.